I'm going to deliver a speech by Les Brown, a motivational speaker, on the topic Chase Your Dreams. Good morning. I was identified as mentally retarded, put back from the 5th grade into the 4th grade, and stayed in that category until I got out of high school. I don't have any college training, but I met a high school teacher who one day changed my life. I was waiting for another student, and when he came in, he said to me, "Young man, go to the board and write what I'm about to tell you." I said, "I can't do that, sir." He said, "Why not?" I said, "Because I'm not one of your students." He said, "It doesn't matter. Just follow my directions." I said, "I can't do that, sir." He said, "Why not?" I said, "Because I'm educable, mentally retarded." He got up and came from behind his desk. He looked at me and said, "Don't ever say that again. Somebody's opinion of you does not have to become your reality." And as he talked, my heart began to beat fast. Tears started to roll on my eyes. And as he was speaking, I was just listening to him from the back. Because the speech he was giving, that speech was for me. And he said, "Les Brown, if you want to do anything worthwhile in life, you gotta be hungry." I told Mr. Washington that I wanted to become a disc jockey. He said, "I wanted to practice every day being a disc jockey." I said, "But I don't have any job right now." He said, "It doesn't matter. It is better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared." And as I was working to develop myself, I applied for a job as disc jockey, WMB Miami Beach. I went to a guy named Milton Butterball. I said, "How are you doing, Mr. Butterball? I'd like to get a job as a disc jockey." He said, "Do you have any broadcast background?" I said, "No, sir, I don't." He said, "Do you have any journalism background?" I said, "No, sir, I don't." He said, "We don't have any jobs available." I said, "Yes, sir." I went back to Mr. Washington and then told what happened. He said, "Don't take it personally. Most people will have to say no 7 times before they say a yes." He said, "Go back again." I went back to Mr. Butterball and said, "How are you doing, Mr. Butterball? My name is Les Brown." He said, "I know what your name is. What do you want?" I said, "I'd like to know whether or not you have any jobs for disc jockey, sir." He said, "Did I just tell you yesterday that we don't have any jobs?" I said, "Yes, sir, but I was wondering if somebody was laid off or somebody was fired, sir." He said, "Nobody was fired or laid off. Now get on out of here." I said, "Yes, sir." I went to him again the next day as if I was seeing him for the first time. I said, "Hello, Mr. Butterball." He looked at me with rage and he said, "Go get me some coffee." And I said, "Yes, sir." I went and got him some coffee. After a while, I would get them their dinner and their lunch. And I would go into the control rooms and give disc jockeys their food, and I would not leave until they would ask me to leave. One Saturday afternoon, as I was working in the radio station, a guy named Rock was drinking while he was in the air. I was the only one there looking at him through the control room windows, walking back and forth, young, ready, and hungry. Pretty soon the phone rang, and it was the general manager, and I answered the phone. I said, "Hello." He said, "Les, this is Mr. Klein." I said, "I know." He said, "Rock can finish his program." I said, "I know." He said, "Would you call on one of the other DJs in?" I said, "Yes, sir." I hung the phone up I said, now he must think I'm crazy. I called up my mom and my girlfriend Cassandra. I said, you'll turn up your radio and come out on the front porch because I'm about to come on the air. I waited for about 20 minutes and I called him back and I said, Mr. Klein, I can find nobody. He said, young boy, do you know how to work the controls? I said, yes, sir. He said, go in there and don't say nothing, huh? You hear? I said, yes, sir. I couldn't wait to get behind those controls. I put an old Stevie record called Fingertips. I sat down behind that turntable. I said, look how this is me, LB, Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing papa. There will none before me and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only, young and single and ready to mingle, certified, bona fide, and doubly qualified to bring you satisfaction, a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry. You gotta be hungry. Begin to know that you have greatness within you. And if just one of you here begin to envision yourselves as being blessed and highly favored to reach your goals, if just one of you capture the essence of what that means, that you have greatness within you and a responsibility to manifest that greatness, that you can make your parents proud, that you can make your school proud, you can touch millions of people's lives, and the world will not be the same again because you came this way. It was hard, ladies and gentlemen, coming to speak to people, and I was facing financial difficulties in my own life. I was behind on my bills and my dreams, and I'm saying to them, you can live your dream. It was hard, ladies and gentlemen, believing that I could do it. There were times that I doubted myself. I used to ask myself, can I do this? And something within me said, you're the one. You're the one. Don't give up on your dream. By continuing to push forward, by continuing to run toward my dream, that one day I would own my own talk show. It's a long shot, ladies and gentlemen, from Liberty City in an abandoned building on a floor, never knowing my father or mother. It's a long shot. Being here with you today in this dome in Atlanta, it's a long shot. No college training, labeled educable mentally retarded, but I kept running toward my dreams. Don't stop. Don't stop running toward your dream.
Hi all, my name is Harikrishnan and I am here to deliver a farewell speech of Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar is an Indian former international cricketer who served as captain of the Indian national cricket team. He is widely regarded as the greatest batsman in the history of cricket, and he is also the highest run scorer in international cricket. The speech goes by this way. All my friends, settle down. Let me talk. It will get more and more emotional. My life between 22 years for 24 years. I can't believe that the wonderful journey has come to an end. But I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who have played an important role in my life. Also, for the first time, I'm carrying this list to remember all the names in case I forget someone. I hope you understand. It's getting a little bit difficult, but I would manage. The most important person in my life, and I have missed him since 1999 when he passed away, my father. Without his guidance, I don't think I would have been standing here in front of you. He gave me the freedom at the age of 11 and told me that to chase my dreams, but make sure you do not find shortcuts. The path might be difficult, but don't give up. and I have simply followed his instructions. Above all, he told me to be a good human being, which I will continue to do, and I will try my best. Every time I achieved something special, I would raise my bat, and it was for my father. My mother, I don't know how she dealt with such a naughty child like me. I was not easy to manage. She must be extremely patient. For a mother, the most important thing is that her child remains safe and healthy and fit. That was what she was most bothered and worried about. She took care of me for last 24 years that I have played for India. But even before that, she started praying for me the day I started playing cricket. She just prayed, and I think her prayers and blessings have given me strength to go out and perform, and so a big thank you to my mother to all her sacrifices. My eldest brother Nitin and his family. He have always encouraged me. My elder brother doesn't like to talk too much, but the one thing he always told me is that whatever you do, I know you will give it 100%, and that I have full faith in and confidence in you. His encouragement meant a lot to me. My sister Savita and her family was no different. The first cricket bat of my life was presented to me by my sister, and it was a Kashmiri willow bat, but that is where the journey began. She is one of those who still continue to fast when I go for batting. So a big thank you to you, my sister. Ajit, my brother. Now, what do I talk about you? Him. I don't know. We have lived this dream together. He was the one who sacrificed his career for my cricket. He spotted the spark in me, and it all started from the age of 11 when he took me to Achrekar sir, my coach, and from there on my life changed. You will find it hard to believe, but even last night he called to discuss my dismissal, knowing that there was a remote chance of batting again. But just the habit we have developed, the rapport we have developed since my birth, has continued it, and it will continue. Maybe when I am not playing cricket, we will be discussing the techniques. The most beautiful thing happened to me in 1990 when I met my wife Anjali. Those were special years, and it has continued and will always continue that way. I know Anjali, being a doctor, there was a wonderful career in front of her. But when we decided to have a family, Anjali took the initiative to step back and say that you continue with your cricket and I will take care of your family. Without that, I would have been able to play cricket freely and without stress. Thanks for bearing with all my fuss and frustrations and all sorts of rubbish that I have spoken. Thanks for bearing with me and always staying by my side through all the ups and downs. You are the best partnership I have had in my life. Then the two precious diamonds of my life, Sarah and Arjun. They have already grown up. My daughter is 16 and my son is 14. Time has flown by. I wanted to spend so much time with them on their special occasions, like their birthdays, annual days, sports days, etc. Whatever, I have missed out on all those things. Thanks for your understanding. Both of you have been so special to me, you cannot imagine. I promise you that 14 and 16 years, I have not spent enough time with both of you, but the next 16 or even beyond that, everything is for you. My cricket career started when I was age 11. The turning point of my career was when my brother Ajit took me to Achrekar sir. I was extremely delighted to see him in the stands. Normally, he sits in front of the television and he watches all the games that I play. When I was 11 or 12, those were the days when I used to hop back on his quota and play a couple of practice matches a day. The first half of the innings I would be batting at Shivaji Park in the second half at some other match in Mumbai, in Azad Maidan. He would take me all around Mumbai to make sure I got match practice. On a lighter note, in the last 29 years, Sir has never said to me that I played well, because he thought I would get a complacent and I would stop hard working. Maybe he can push his luck and wish me now well done on my career, because there are no matches, sir, in my life. I will be witnessing cricket, and cricket will always stay in my heart. But you have had an immense contribution in my life, so thank you very much. The dream was obviously to play for India, and that is where my association with BCCI started. BCCI was fantastic. Right from my debut, they believed in me and my abilities, and selecting me into the squad at the age of 16 was a big step. So thanks to all the selectors for having faith in me, and the BCCI for giving me the freedom to express myself out in the middle. Things would have been different if you have not been behind me, and I really appreciate your support. Especially when I was injured, you were right there with me and making sure that all the treatments were taken and care of, and that I got fit and fine playing back for India. The journey has been so special the last 24 years. I played with many senior cricketers, and even before that, there were many senior cricketers with whom I watched on television. They inspired me to play cricket and to play in the right way. Thanks to all those seniors, and unfortunately I have not been able to play with them, but I have high regards for all their achievements and all their contributions. I know my speech is getting a bit too long, but this is the last thing I want to say. I want to thank all the people here who have flown in from various parts of the world and have supported me endlessly, whether I scored a 0+ or a 100+. Your support was so dear to me, and it meant a lot to me, whatever you have done for me. I know I have met so many guys who have fasted for me, prayed for me, and done so much for me. Without that, life wouldn't have been like this for me. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, and also say that time has rather flown by, but the memories you have left with me always be with me forever and ever. Especially Sachin, which will reverberate in my ears till I stop breathing. Thank you very much. If I missed out on saying something, I hope you understand. Goodbye. Thank you.
Hi, I am Albin K. Roy. I am here to deliver Steve Jobs' commencement speech at Stanford University. He was the founder and the CEO of Apple, which revolutionized the digital world. He shared 3 stories from his life that illustrated his guiding principles of life, and it goes like this. Today, I want to tell you 3 stories from my life. That's it, no big deal, just 3 stories. The first story is about connecting the dots. I dropped out of Reed College after the first 6 months, but then I stayed around as a drop-in for another 18 months before I really quit. Why did I leave the college? I naively chose a college that was almost as expensive as Stanford, and all of my working class parents' savings were being spent on my college tuition. After 6 months, I couldn't see the value in it. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and no idea how the college was going to help me to figure it out. And here, I was spending all the money my parents had saved their entire life. So I decided to drop out and trust that it would all work out okay. It was pretty scary at that time, but looking back, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your God's destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down, and it has made all the differences in my life. The second story is about love and loss. I was lucky. I found what I loved to do early in my life. Wooz and I started Apple in my parents' garage when I was 20. We worked hard, and in 10 years, Apple had grown from just two of us in the garage into a 2 billion company with over 4,000 employees. We had just released our finest creation, the MacBook, a year earlier, and I had just turned 30. And then I got fired. How can you get fired from a company that you started? Well, as Apple grew, we hired someone who I thought was very talented to run the company with me. And for the first year or so, the things went well. But then our visions of future began to diverge. And eventually we had a falling out. And when we did, our board of directors sided with him. So at 30, I was out, and very publicly out. What had been the focus of my entire art life was gone. And it was devastating. During the next 5 years, I started a company named Next. And in the remarkable turn of events, Apple brought Next. I returned to Apple, and I fell in love with an amazing woman who would become my wife. I am pretty sure none of this would have happened if I had not been fired from Apple. My third story is about death. When I was 17, I read a quote that went something like, "If you live each day as if it was your last, someday you most certainly be right." It made an impression on me, and since then, for the past 33 years, I have looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last days of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no, I knew I need to change something. No one wants to die, even people who wants to go to heaven. They don't want to die to get there. And yet, death is the destination that we all share. No one has ever escaped it. And that is as it should be. Because death is very likely the single best invention of life. It is life's change agent. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by the dogma, which is living with the result of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinion drown out your own inner voice. And the most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already knew what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Felix. I am a student of Albrecht Institute of Management. Today I am here to deliver the speech of the great Kalam sir. He was an Indian aerospace scientist, politician, who served as 11th President of India from 2002 to 2007. Friends, before I begin my address, I would like to share my thoughts to all my young friends present here. I have met so far 11 million youth like you in a decade time from the various parts of the country, in India and abroad. I have seen their hopes and experienced their pains and worked with their aspirations and here to despair also. All these experiences made me to learn something about them, which I would like to share with you. Shall I? Carefully hear me what I am saying. What I learned from youth of 11 million people? I learned that every youth wants to be unique, that is you. The world around you that is doing its best. The day and night just make everybody else. Now, the question is that whether you want to be you or just everybody else. You want to be you? Not everybody else, but being like everybody else is more convenient to all. At the first glance, but not satisfying in the long vision. The challenge therefore, my young friends, is that you have to fight the hardest battle. You have to fight the hardest battle, which any human being can never imagine, and never stop fight until you are ready to a destined place. That is the unique you. To get the unique you, it is a big battle. The battle means you need to take a gun. The battle means you have 4 unique tools, 4 unique things you must have in that battle. First is set the goal. Second is acquire the knowledge continuously. Third one is hard work with devotion. And fourth one is perseverance. If you have the 4 tools, definitely you will become a unique you. Now, being unique will also require the culture of excellence. Let us understand what is excellence in more detail. You know, excellence is self-imposed, self-directed, lifelong process. Excellence is not by an accident. It is a process where an individual, organization, nation continuously try to better oneself. They work on their dreams with focus and prepare to take calculated risk. And then they do not retire by failures. As they move towards their dream, then they step up their dreams as they get to reach the original target. They strive to work their potential, thereby multiplying further their potential. It is an unending life cycle phenomenon. The culture of excellence, they are not in competition, but anyone else but themselves. That is the culture of excellence. I am sure that each one of you aspire to become a unique with culture of excellence. My best wishes to all my young friends present here. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Priyanka Chopra and I present 12 rules of becoming the best version of yourself. So here are few of my favorites from my list. There is only one you, okay? Because there is no one like you. I am talking about the core of you, who you are inside, your values, your beliefs, your flaws. And once you understand who really that person is, you would have made the first step in finding your unique self, and that is the best version of you. Most often, we don't allow ourselves the ability to dream beyond our imagination. We don't allow ourselves to think about the future because we are afraid of changes. We are afraid to move away from what is familiar. Either that or sometimes we are too rigid to let our dreams evolve. Lose it up, shake it off a little bit. Change is the only constant thing in life, and you are never too old or never too experienced to learn something new. Believe that you have everything already as your Brahmastra in your will to be able to be or achieve your dreams. Be fearless. I know I wanted to become an aeronautical engineer. What am I today? I'm an actor, I'm a singer, I'm an author, producer, artist. How did I go from becoming an engineer to all of these things? I made choices. The choices I wanted from myself. So that is my rule number 2. Let your dreams fly. Give them wings. Be who you want to be. Just being fearless. Now opportunities. That is the another important part of being fearless. Very funny thing is that these opportunities, they don't came very often. They came very far and few in between. But when they do we recognize them? Our job is to recognize these opportunities and make the most of them. When I look back on all those things that I have done, I can say that I marvel in the opportunities that came my way. Miss India, Miss World. When I was in Berlin Army School, my first film offer, the first music singer, the first film that I have actually produced. There was never a plan, ever. More like the universe sort of guiding me towards these opportunities. All I had to do was to recognize them and make sure that I work so hard. So guys, my rule number 3 is be ambitious. Who who like everything in life. I don't think there is nothing wrong with wanting to have the whole cake and eat it too. Nothing wrong. I want everything, मुझे सब कुछ चाहिए, and there is nothing wrong with that. As long as you are harming someone or doing something wrong. Don't be scared to want more for yourself. So, my rule number 4 is be greedy. Be greedy for your ambition. Be hungry for it. Do not live on someone else's benchmark. Who can tell you who you should be? Fight for your dreams. Because no one else is gonna fight for your dreams except you. It belongs to no one. My failures, my success, all of it's mine. So rule number 5 is do not compromise. Do not settle on your dreams. Now, who likes to fail? I'm talking about to those who hates to fail, because I hates to fail. It's really as simple as it takes cups and cups of ice creams, lots of tissues, lots of tears, lots of dramebasi. My mother, my best friends, my family, everybody making me feel better about it. But the one thing that is as certain as night and day is, ladies and gentlemen, is that you will fail. It is just how it is, and there is nothing you can do about it to stop that. It's what you do after that will define where you go. When something have invested in my heart and soul, which I do everything in that, I actually put my mind into it. If that fails, I don't just wallow on self-pity. I roll myself in it. I wrap myself in it, head to toes. Self-pity, self-pity, self-pity. It's not a pretty side. I can tell you that my mother, who is sitting here, has witnessed it many times, but then I get up, cry a little, dust myself off, and drive straight back to the life. Because the only way to push failure aside is to move ahead. Do not ignore it. Analyze it and learn from it. Always remember that you will never truly enjoy the success until you have tasted the failure. So rule number 6 is fail, fail, fail again, and then rise like a phoenix. Now, what is life without a little bit of risk, right? I have always believed that you have to take risk, calculate it, educate the risk, and then evolve. Because if you have not truly explored the full extent of your possibilities, you will always remain stagnant. People have written me several times in my career. Sometimes they don't agree with my choices. When I played a negative character in my film Aetras, very early in my career, I was told that I will be a vamp and no one will be cast me as a heroine. When I took a female-centric film called Fashion, again very early in my career, I was told that I was not known. When I signed a US TV show at the height of my film career in India, each time the risks were very huge and the stakes were very high, and the repercussions could have been, say that, in the least career ending. Thank God it won't happen, and I'm still standing in front of you. I really appreciate God that I don't know what will happen going forward, but as of now I can say that my risk and my gamble was worth it. You know why? Because I backed up those risks with my 100%. So rule number 7 is be bold and take these risks. Now friends, families, the people who worked with, the people around us are of greater influences in your journey to success. So you have to choose them wisely. Rule number 8 is Surround yourself with the right people who do not stab on your back. Guys, please just me tell you this. Someone will always be unhappy, always, especially in this age of social media. It is very easy for us to be confused behind the voices that actually matter and the opinions of the faceless people writing behind the anonymity of the world offer us. They don't matter. Rule number 9 is you can never please everyone all the time. And the biggest favor that you will do all to yourself will be to laugh. And yourself at situations, find a moment to appreciate yourself every single day. This funny thing is called life, and that is my most important rule. Rule number 10. Do not take yourself too seriously. We are not making rockets, right? So come down, have fun, and just enjoy this beautiful journey that we have put on. I do that. My family, with whom I spent the most of the time, and they have taught me when I was very, very, very young that there is always one person who is less fortunate than you. So give back wherever you can, because we have one world and it's ours, and we need to heal it, and that starts with us. So that is my rule number 11, give back. And finally, the most important rule, always remember where you come from. It truly defines you. I'm a proud Indian, an army ki beti, daughter of 2 doctors, with a middle class, upcoming, joint, enormous family whom I love on both the sides. We seen good times, we seen bad times, we seen hardships, we seen pain, laughter, sadness, and that is what has made me what is who I am now, and I wear that with pride every day and everywhere I go. So last but not the least, rule number 12 is don't ever forget the roots and where you come from. Life is a journey which is not to arrive at your side safely in a well-preserved body, but rather to skid in sideways, completely worn out of say holy shit, that was the ride, and that is how I want to go. Thank you.